Let's talk to the US broadcaster and author Carol Gould, who herself has been a Bafta member for 33 years. That's the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. Carol, this time last year, you were also not happy about the Oscar nominations. Are you surprised by what's happened in this round?
No, I'm dismayed. I mean, last year I was upset because Belle and Selma, the film about Martin Luther King, with the wonderful British actor David Oyelowo, they were not nominated, he was not nominated, and I was upset also because 3 female directors last year were not nominated, including the directors of Selma and of Belle. So it was a double whammy. This year, I'm not surprised. 2 years ago, we had all the excitement over 12 Years a Slave, but that has kind of dissipated. John Singleton, who directed Boys in the Hood, was the first African-American to be nominated for Best Director in 1991. He says, let's not boycott, let's not make a fuss. It's just the luck of the draw. But I think the African-American community is divided really 50-50 about this, and the creative community, because many are very angry, but some are saying, well, there just wasn't enough material this year. But I have argued that actually there needs to be more money plowed into the industry for African-American and female creative people, as well as other minorities. Perhaps, as I said the other day when I was on BBC, the African-American community in the United States should start its own academy. But then others have said to me, oh, come on, Carol, that's going backwards. We don't want to be marginalized. We're part of the mainstream community. And this year, Bafta is giving Sidney Poitier the Fellowship Award. And I can tell you, I know that was decided long ago. It wasn't a knee-jerk reaction this week because of what's happened. Bafta decides on these things many months before.
That's an interesting point. But in terms of, you were talking about the films last year, Selma, of course, which was such a strong contender. Are the films this year, are they good enough, do you think, then?
I rather liked the Straight Outta Compton film. I know lots of people...
Because that's got a very mixed response,
Yes, lots of people hated it. I loved it. I think it's because I grew up during that period. I grew up in Philadelphia. I grew up in a big, tough American city, saw the rise of rap. And I think that film, it somehow made some people cringe, particularly the older generation. I mean, let's face it, Bafta and the Oscar Academy, I think the average age is about 63. Mostly male, mostly white. Straight Outta Compton, you really had to understand that culture, literally.
Yes.
But I think that it's a great pity that Idris Elba didn't get nominated this year. That has upset me a lot for the Beasts of No Nation. I mean, I thought that was an excellent film, and he was superb. He spoke to the Houses of Parliament this week about diversity, that we need to improve diversity. He did say this country, Britain, is one of the best in the world for diversity, but the fact that he hasn't been nominated by either academy, you can't help understanding how some people of African-American descent and people from Africa feel they've been neglected.
Carol, do you think they will be able to make these changes by 2020?
Oh, yes, and I think it's time there was more opportunity for women. Let's face it, as I said, both academies are predominantly male, older, and I think that there need to be, Meryl Streep has said this, we need far greater roles for women. And I think that last year, the fact that the 3 female directors, Ama Asante, Angelina Jolie, and the director of Selma, the directors of Selma and of the Unbroken film and of Belle, all of these women were neglected. And Ava DuVernay, she was neglected. So that upset me too as a woman.
Yes, some strong names, some incredibly strong names there. Carol, as always, an absolute pleasure to speak to you. Carol Gould, 33-year member of BAFTA. Thank you so much.